2016 Chatfield Award is in honor of Tom Snyder. Tom, although he passed last year, left a legacy and a givingness and a vision for the community that is singular. And if anybody was a pillar for our Chatfield Award, there's no person more deserving than Tom Snyder. Tom has been called Mr. Oconomowoc, and for good reason. He really was able to reach out to so many people, to their hearts, and engage them, as well as organizations within our community. We have some wonderful guests who will also tell us more about Tom and his outreach in the community. But just know, he always had a twinkle in his eye. Tom was about fun. He always had stories to tell, many stories to tell. For Tom, time wasn't the issue, it was the content. Anybody who knows Tom knows that if an event started at 7, 8, 8:15 could be the time, but you know what? When he was there 1,000%. Tom was in the clothing industry. He owned a store called Snyder's Clothing, which was right on Main Street in downtown Oconomowoc. Tom had a clientele that spanned not only the state and region, but they came from all over to see Tom. Most notably, Al McGuire of the Bucks said he had a lucky jacket. And if that's the case, this actually is a blazer from Snyder's Clothing Store. I'm happy to be part of that. I always enjoyed going there as a family. We went there as children, and the memories stayed. It's a beautiful store and always very gracious. We're so fortunate to have Maureen Stapleton of Stapleton Realty and one of the community members for many, many years join us today. She's going to tell us a little bit about Tom, a little bit about things they did together, and maybe what Tom did for the community. Maureen, thank you for being here with us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much for inviting. Just a mere 2 years ago, just about this time, the doors of this great auditorium would burst open, and here bustling in would be Tom Snyder. Tom was so proud of this facility. He was a really, really good friend of Pat Newdecker, and thanked her and her team and the board of education for allowing this to happen. If any of you know Tom or knew Tom, you know that he was a dreamer on a grand scale. But even he couldn't have dreamt what this facility has brought to Oconomowoc. And an example of some of the people that he came to know over the years with his interest in the arts was the very, very glamorous vocalist Hildegard, who often stayed at Tom's house on Bags Isle when she was in Wisconsin. At Tom's house at any given time, you could see maybe Al McGuire drop in, or Herb Cole, or Charles Dix, the artist, just people that knew and loved Tom, and he made everyone feel welcome. As some of you know, Tom was a lovely person. He thoroughly enjoyed conversation with anybody and everybody, and found something of interest in each one of those conversations and each one of those people. His mother was a great bridge player, and before she passed away, she said to Tom, please, please take care of my bridge gals. She felt so bad about leaving them, and one of whom, by the way, was, some of you might know, was Pearl Meston, who was a diplomat and socialite in Washington, D.C. So he would arrive on a holiday, dressed to the nines, of course, with his hanky in his right pocket, big smile on his face, carrying a plant, and the nurses at Shorehaven always said, gee, those girls, they get all dressed up when they know Tom Snyder's coming to visit. And they'd wait for him out in the hall, and it wasn't until some time later everyone found out that in addition to the potted plant were also little miniatures of brandy and or Baileys that were potted in the plant. And maybe that's why the ladies had a smile on their face all the time. But that's how sincere and genuine Tom was. Oftentimes he would call me at 10 o'clock at night and say, let's go out and have a bite. And I would say, but Tom, it's 10 o'clock. The restaurants are closing. And he would say, in reply, well, then we better hurry.
How does one begin to capture the life and legacy of an extraordinary friend? It seems like an impossible yet important task, and I hope these words will somehow create a lasting image of our beloved Tom Snyder. I met Tom through a mutual friend when I moved to Oconomowoc in 1999, and over the years I learned about his life and his love for the Oconomowoc area. I was new to the area, and Tom quickly made me feel right at home. He instantly connected his love of learning to my vocation as a school administrator and shared stories about his history with Oconomowoc High School, Marquette University, and Notre Dame. Tom's stories were endless, and he had the unique ability to weave stories together, from events in his interesting life as a Navy pilot to his retail career with Snyder's Fine Clothes in Oconomowoc to our mutual bond with Rotary. His life stories were always captivating, but his legacy is built on something even greater. Simply stated, Tom Snyder was a giver. I doubt we will ever know the full reach of Tom's generosity, because he was not a boastful person. Sometimes you would hear of his kindness and generosity long after the fact, from an organization or an individual he had helped along the way. His footprints are everywhere. Tom devoted his life to family, friends, philanthropy, and the Oconomowoc community. He shared his passion for history, literature, and the arts in many ways. Tom was a founding member of the Oconomowoc Area Foundation, the Oconomowoc Festival of the Arts, and the Oconomowoc Artist Series, which created a local concert venue for accomplished performing artists who were originally from Oconomowoc. Additionally, Tom actively supported the creation of this Oconomowoc Arts Center, which continued through his donation that launched support for the additional handicap-accessible drop-off area. It is fitting that the inaugural Chatfield Award be presented to Tom Snyder. Tom always turned his passion for the arts into action. His ideas were creative, his dedication was tireless, and his legacy continues. Tom will always be with us in spirit, and if he were here tonight, he would speak to each of us as if we were the only person in the room, and he would be proud to be remembered by the friends and community he loved so much. Thank you, Tom Snyder, for teaching us how to be genuine, compassionate, and generous. We are all better because of you. With admiration, Pat.
Hello there, Winston Churchill here, reporting to you from heaven. Indeed. Your friend Tom Snyder does not know that I am making this recording. Now, St. Peter was kind enough to allow me utilization of his iPhone 33. Yes, indeed, Steve Jobs has been busy up here, but I digress. It is my understanding that you Oconomowocians, I am part American Indian. Did you know that? Of course you did. You wonderful people, Tom's closest friends, are gathering to honor Mr. Tom Snyder. Now, if you are listening to this, I just wanted to tell you what Tom has been up to since he arrived. First of all, heaven will never be the same. It seems that Tom has the innate ability to befriend seemingly everyone up here in heaven. He seems to be everywhere at all times. The whole landscape here has changed because of Tom. Tom has introduced something called Happy Hour. Is that some sort of an Oconomowoc custom? Evidently. I must admit, Clemmy and I are regulars at Tom's house for his happy hour. I have just come from Tom's beautiful home on Fowler Lake. That's what he calls it, anyway. What I wanted to get round to is this. We all agree here in heaven that Tom Snyder is just about the best friend that the arts ever had on earth. Do you agree? Well, of course you do. You're listening to this right now, are you not? Well, Clemmy, what? What's that kitty cat? Yeah, in a jiffy. In a jiffy. Clemmy is telling me that Tom is opening a bottle of cold rosé. Champagne, 1928. I mustn't miss that. Indeed. Well, us FOTs, friends of Tom, up here just wanted to echo what you must be saying about Tom down there. Your loss is our gain. Yes, darling, I'm just finishing up. Oh, by the way, make this party for Tom your finest hour. Cheers. Yes, darling, I'm coming.
Hey, Ellen, good to see you.
Hey, Roberta, good to see you.
We're here at Heartland Piano, and this is Ellen McDonald. We're so happy to be here, and Ellen invited us into her piano gallery, and she has a special treat for us. Ellen knew Tom, and she has a special place in her heart for music. Ellen?
So imagine a day without music. I can't, and because of people like Tom Snyder and the whole community of Oconomowoc, I just want to say thank you. So thank you, and really appreciate it.
So having seen a little bit of what Tom's done, maybe through the pictures, a little bit of what his spirit was, those of us who've known Tom and those of us who are just getting to meet Tom and what he did, have a special place for him in our hearts. His spirit was singular, one of a kind, indomitable, and certainly a visionary. Tom, for your spirit, for that which you've given to us, we're so proud to honor you forever in our Arts Center, in our hearts. And on behalf of the Oconomowoc Chamber Orchestra and our community, our heartfelt thanks to you in memoriam. If Tom's touched your heart, his spirit has moved your spirit, that you would like to reach out in some way and remember him, the OCO has an endowment, and it's possible to make a donation to the OCO endowment in honor of Tom Snyder. If you'd like to do so, you can simply send a check to OCO-endowment, and then just indicate that it's in honor of Tom Snyder, and we will put your donation in our endowment and be a permanent tribute to Tom and also permanent support of what the orchestra does in the community. Thank you, and we appreciate your listening and sharing this with us.